Hey everyone, it's been a minute. How are you though? All right, I'm gonna give it a quick second here. All right, so let's get back in the swing of things. Like I said, it has been a minute. So not that I necessarily have stopped painting, but this time of year, spring, early summer has really been busy for me. We do a lot in the garden, and that just kind of overtakes everything else for a little while. Plus, we have a beautiful new pet in our household, so she has been taking a lot of my time as well. I will go ahead and post some pictures and videos of that too, just because I think she's probably our mascot now. And no, it's not a dog or a cat, so check that out. Very soothing. Today, I have got in front of me, I don't know if you frequent my channel at all, however, I've got in front of me here, it's just a Ralph Lauren eyeglass case. Okay, a little bit hard to see. Everything is black, so I don't necessarily need this towel, but I thought just for a contrast of color to help you see what's going on a little better, that might be nice. So I am actually going to get this painted, customized, personalized. Today the colors that I've chosen for this one, I'm going to go with a magenta and this wild orchid. Kind of play out those two. I've got green in here, so I've got, these are kind of my favorites, honestly. I never thought I would like green, but these are really my favorite. The Hauser, the light and the medium. And then normally I think I would use white, but instead of white today, I just got this, the Craft Smart. Now, normally for silver, I also usually go to the Americana, but for whatever reason, I found that this bright silver, I really, really like this. It's almost a pearl color. So I'm gonna try that instead of the white today. All right, so I don't know if you can actually see this or not, but I've only made, probably about 5 dots on this, just sort of as a guide for myself. There's 1 here, there's 2 here, and then I've got 3 total. 1, 2, and 3 here. Again, I don't know if you can really even, you might be able to see that one there if I put it in the light. Essentially, the only reason I've done that is because I do want to make sure that I've got this centered. I don't necessarily need the rest of the guidelines, especially such on a small piece. It kind of gets a little wonky and distracting to have all the lines on here. And this case, it is like a faux leather. And as you can tell, it's very, very shiny. So I did seal this in advance because the leather is very, very porous, and painting on it, just as is a little bit troublesome. So I am going to go ahead and paint on this, and then I'm going to reseal it over the top. Now, the drawback, unfortunately, is that just because of this type, now it usually doesn't happen on anything else, but this faux leather, once it's been sealed, the dots are actually done just in Expo marker, in a black Expo, so you really can't see it. I have tried a ton of other stuff, charcoal chalk pencils, water colors, I don't know, a whole bunch of stuff. And it doesn't come off. Unfortunately, it doesn't come off. I've not had that problem with pretty much anything else. Wood and fabric and canvas and glass and all those other things. So just kind of to preface that, that's why I did it this particular way, because just those couple dots will be covered and they're black. So if for any reason, goodness forbid, I miss something, no one's going to notice. All right. I'm going to scoot this over just a smidge. Let me kind of show you what I've got here. Okay. Let's move. All right. You can hear the rattling. I'm just shaking this up. Inside of this one, I've got a couple of 1/4-inch ball bearings. Nail polish agitators. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. They're ball bearings. I don't have them in all of them, but I do in a few. It really does help the mixing. Okay, now this is going in straight today. I've got no additional added mediums. Kind of used to adding something to it by now since I do so much on glass, but not today. All right, so here's my greens. Now you could do this with just like one color green and one color purple. I've actually done that with a couple of bookmarks and things, and I've kind of just stayed with the, you know, one shade. But it really does give it a better dimension if you use at least two. And I'm just a little impatient today. Like I said, I've been so busy. I haven't had time for anything. Nonetheless, to sit down and paint. And so when the opportunity arises, I didn't really want to mix paint today. Not that it's all that difficult or time consuming, honestly, but you know, when you can just squeeze it out of a bottle, let's just do it. Okay. So I've got everything in here now. I use Happy Dotting Company's tools. I've got laid out in front of me everything from a 0.5. Whoops, caught on my thing here. I've got everything from a 0.5 up to the 6, and then I've got a 10 because the 10 is going to be my center. Let's scoot those right out of the way. Just in case, I've got a couple Q-tips. All right, and then I always just use an old Tupperware and an old washcloth, nice warm water on there, and make sure to get everything washed off. Okay, all right. Otherwise, I think I'm good to go. I'm gonna jump right into my 10. Let's see. What do I want? Got a bubble in there for some reason. Okay. What do I want as my center dot color? Let's go dark. All right, now this is just sort of on the lip here. Okay, rotate that just a little bit. I'm going to hold it in place a quick moment. This is the Decor paint, so it's not thin enough necessarily that it's going to run, but better safe in any case, right? Last thing I need is just to go sliding off. It's hot too. That's the other thing. It is just so hot. You never know. Okay, that's my 10. That's basically the only time that I'm going to use that, so I'm going to set that aside. Okay, blow on that like it's actually going to make a difference. All right, so let's see. I'm going to say probably a 1. Let's go in with a 1, and I want to offset this real nicely to start. And I'm going to go into this silver. And again, I don't know if you can see that real well, but it kind of has that pearl look to it. The white, or the silver, I should say, sorry. Okay. All right, so I'm going to hold this up again. And then one of the things here is I'm going to be doing the pattern on the top of the lid here. Only, and I haven't quite 100% decided yet, but maybe 2 rows of this will actually fall over the lip. My reason behind that, obviously it's going to be like the most touched part, right? Because normally, at least I don't know how you guys do it, but normally you'll use your thumb to push the lid, kind of pull and push it up. And so I don't want a whole lot right here, but I don't want the pattern to look like it just sort of weirdly abruptly stops. So, like I said, I might just do this row here, and then I'll take a look at the second row that I'm going to put on and see if I actually want that to go around the lip as well. and I'll just I'll see how it is. We'll sort of do that on the fly. Now, if anyone is jumping in and watching today or later for that matter, feel free to chime in with any questions you might have. Just because of the way the painting is, sometimes there are going to be a few little lulls. It'll be a little quiet every now and again. So feel free to jump in. Okay, so there's that. Let's alternate colors. And then I probably want to go into, I'm going to think probably a 3. Okay. And at this point, I want to get into my greens. And I want the dark here, so let's go light. Let's keep it nice and light around the center. I had a bubble in my paint, so let me make sure I don't have that to deal with at the moment. All right. Okay. And again, I never thought I would say I liked green, but especially this light Hauser green, this kind of misty to it. It always reminds me of ferns or something. I love it. Okay. And it pops so well on this black. Okay. Okay, now let's take a look here. I think for this one, let's go around. Okay, that one is just kind of right on the lip. This one won't be. There. And the paint is such a perfect consistency right out of the bottle that I don't have to worry too much. And over those lines, over that lip, I can just sit the tool down and the paint will just wrap around it. It's beautiful. Okay. Okay. Again, same thing. I'm just gonna wipe my tool off with one hand. Let's hold this up just a quick second. All right, so we've got our base. Now, I'm gonna go into, let's probably do a 6. I think a 6 will be just fine. And we're gonna go into the dark green. Like I said, blow on that, right? Okay. Now I have some dots here, just as sort of a guide. Now the dots are kind of on the curve and I don't necessarily want them there. So what I'm going to do, let me hold this like this. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this twice because I'm going to jump right into swooshes. Whoops. Yeah. Oh, it's already. I didn't have my other tool handy. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now then, all right. So I'm going to drag this. Right along that edge. All right, I got to give it a little bit of shape. Let's fix that a smidge. Okay. Make it a little tiny bit wider here. There. So there's that one. Let's flip that around. See if I can get a good angle here. Okay. I did not wipe my tool between those two dots either. That's why I don't necessarily have to double dip it like I did with this one, because I've still got nice gobs of paint on there. Okay. One of the other reasons, now, outside of the obvious, that I seal the work prior to doing this is that these swooshes go on like butter. It's super slick, super smooth. If I would have left it as is, kind of with that faux leather that it is, then yeah, it would sort of be a pain. It's like doing it on canvas. All right, next one. Make sure I got the right end of the tool here. This one is not going to be great. It's not going to be super easy because I do have the logo that I'm painting over. I did try to fill this, by the way. One of the very first things that I thought about when I saw these and I wanted to customize and paint them was how in the world am I going to deal with the logo? Because the logo isn't embossed. So it sits pretty deep in there too. So I went on a hunt, look for some options, what do people suggest, you know, how to fill them in. And I tried a couple of things. You know, even just filling it with paint, filling it with sealer, etc. And it didn't work. It didn't work at all. So just gonna go with it. And so far I've done a couple of these, and so far they look great. There's no problem. Once they're painted and then sealed over again, you don't even notice it. Not that it's a big deal if you would. Okay, so there's that one. Okay. Let me get a drink real quick. Let's go into this one here. Again, I'm still not cleaning my tools after that. I always feel like there's little tiny imperfections that I keep going back and trying to correct, so okay. All right, and then the really fun one. Make sure to get a lot of extra paint here. So I want to make sure that because of the embossed logo there, that when I pull this through, it's not going to fill the letter and not let me drag it out properly. That's fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Like I said, I've done several of these, but I haven't yet attempted to try to do a swoosh right over the logo, so not too bad, but I'm going a little slow just to make sure that the paint is filling in those little notches correctly. Okay. All right, little bubble there. Let's get that out. Okay. All right, now because it sank into the letter there, let's make sure that it looks like it's a straight line. Okay. There we go. All right, now I can wipe this off. Okay, that's probably the only time that I'll use my 6. So I can put that away. And then let's take a 3.5, I think. Yeah, 3.5 should be fine. Okay. Let's go over here to my silver. Actually, let's see. Now let's do it purple. Yeah. Okay. Let's do it light to dark. What do we think? Okay. So I'm going to get these capped here. Let's go ahead and put a light one. Dropping straight back into a 2. I'm going to skip over the 2.5. So we're going to go down into a 2. All right. And again, this is going to be one of the things that I am going to curl along the edge here, but probably not the second row, and you'll see what I mean there. Okay. So I'm going to start with a 2 here. Whoops. Yep, it sunk into that letter. Let's go back over that. See if I can clean that just a little. I'm gonna let it dry and then I might come back and do that once more. Okay. 1.5. Let's get this part finished. I'm gonna give that a real good dunk though. It's kind of an awkward shape, to tell you the truth. It's sort of hard to find a good spot to place my hand in here. Okay. Now this will be just the first layer on this one. Yeah. So there's one. Okay, now I was at a 3.5. So I'm gonna go, let's see. Do I want a 4 or 4.5? Let's take a peek what both looks like. Yeah, we're gonna go 4.5. Go down a full step to a 3.5 here. Debating on whether I want to do this one, and I think I will, just for the sake of consistency on the sides. Okay. Now the reason I am doing this kind of in steps instead of just these 2 dots, instead of taking one tool and just going all the way down, they are very, very long, and I don't want the bottoms to be that thin or that small of a dot. I don't want it to peter out too quickly. So. Okay, and like I said before I finish, like you can see over here, some of the paint settles into the letters. So I'm going to check on that when everything is actually completely dry, see what it looks like, and then may go back over it before I put any top dots or final sealer on it. Okay, set that down. Okay, let's go into a 3 here. Same thing, give that a really good dunk. Same thing. See, I'm not going all the way to the bottom. I'm just putting 4 dots here. I'm going to pick up another tool instead of completing it with this one. Plus, I find that with the flat-headed tools anyways, when you start doing walked dots, anything 3 or above gets to be kind of annoying. They don't work out really well. Either you want to use a ball-headed tool or split it up like I'm doing here. There's no rule that says you have to use the same tool for a walked dot. Oh, I missed one. Just grab that. No wonder I missed it. That's the hard one to reach. Okay. I'm gonna guess that 1.5 is gonna pick that up nicely. Yeah. Okay. All right. Now we need to get some white in here and some of the light green again. So let's see. Let me see. I'm just thinking here. I was thinking about, let me hold this in my other hand. I was thinking about putting a landing dot here and then bringing these out, but you know what? Maybe not. Let's see. Let's just do that different. I want this in light green. I've got the 5 in my hand. Oops, I just stuck my hand in paint. Okay, get that off of there real quick before I smear it everywhere, because I've done that too. There we go. Okay, I'm not gonna smear it everywhere. All right, so let's go into the light green on this one. Okay, now I'm just gonna kind of gauge somewhere center-ish here, and then probably one line above. Something like that. Okay, 2 on the first one. Okay, and I'm gonna get that down as far as I can, maybe what, the 3rd dot or so. Even though I don't have grids, I do have dots, so those are my guidelines. Okay. So then again, somewhere in the middle, about there-ish. I'm putting it about a tool's width above the top dot. Set that down. Sorry if I'm making anybody dizzy. Moving this thing around like crazy. All right, we're gonna do a couple of these. Yeah, you know, these ones I like too, and especially once the colors actually dry and they get a little darker, it's even better. I'm gonna get my tool wiped off. That was a 5. I'm gonna go down maybe 3.5. I can probably go 4. Get a drink here. And then we're gonna do some more. Let's get some white in here. I keep saying white, but it's really not. It's silver. It's much thicker. I don't know if that's really obvious here, but this particular brand is much thicker. Yeah, this paint is so much thicker, it actually brings little points to the top, which is fine for what I'm doing anyways. Sorry, again, I'm making people dizzy. And even though I have this sitting on I'm gonna completely forget the word as I mess with this. Here, hold on. I don't even know if I can get it. There was a little hunk of paint, dried paint. It was probably in the nozzle that came out. Okay. Did I get it out of there? I did. Okay. Let that dry real quick. But anyways, what I was saying, I do have this on a Lazy Susan. So I could be turning it. But just the odd shape of this one. It's so much easier just to hold it in my hands and kind of manipulate it that way. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. Try to clean that one up a little bit before I decide to remove it completely and start over with it. Ah, nah, it's terrible. Okay. We can fix that though. One thing I learned is never be stingy with Q-tips. When you make corrections, you don't want to try to use the same Q-tip over and over again. Okay, wipe that off here. Okay. Gonna let that dry. Let's move on. Let's go back and catch that one that I missed before. Mm-hmm. So this one is actually, let me grab the bottle again real quick. This one's Craft Smart. This is probably one of the very, very few paints that I have that's not Decor Americana. But it's the bright silver, but yeah, it's kind of this pearly looking. Let's see if I can get a better spot on this here. And then I need, that was a 4. 2.5 maybe. Yep, and then I'm just gonna do a tiny green one underneath here. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the Craft Smart is the one that's at Michael's, right? Yeah, that's Michael's brand. Let's see, should I do... Yeah, I think the dark is fine here. Okay. I changed my mind. I'm going to go down a little farther. Let's go down to a 2. Now for these smaller ones too, I am actually cleaning off the tip of my tool, the tool that I'm using to drag as well, each time, just so that it's got a nicer point. Now you could technically, I suppose, just dip and drag it, but I don't know. This is my go-to method, so I'm just kind of used to using it. Whatever's comfortable. Now this one got shifted a little bit, so let's see. Now if I'm lucky, okay, that'll kind of hide behind that dot a little. Not ideal, but working freehand. So there's that. I'm gonna go back into the dark magenta here, and 5 maybe? 4 or 5. Right. Okay. Oops. Okay. And then this is a 3-5 on the top. My hand slid. Once I get this done, then I have a nice little cute accent that I'm going to put on both sides. And then we'll look at top dots. All right, so there's that. Okay, let that dry. All right, now where do I have my room? Here. Let me look at size. I think 4 will be fine. Sorry, I got paint on my fingers again. Gotta wipe that off. All right, so I'm gonna put something here and here. Hopefully you guys will see exactly what it is pretty quick. Do we want it in the light? Ooh, you know what? Just made up my own mind. Let's do this. All right, I'm gonna pull out my white. This always takes a minute. definitely could have blended it with something else instead of this tiny tool. Ay, ay, ay. That's okay. Okay. Yep, that's good. Let's do a 3. All right, let's see how we want to do this. All right, so now let's get another swoosh in here. Has it been hot? Yeah, whew. Yeah, it has. Well, actually, the last couple of days, we had actually gotten down into the 70s again, and it finally rained. That was really, really nice for a change. Thank goodness. We definitely needed that. I was getting tired of watering my garden by hand, honestly. So for about 2 days, it was in the 70s, and then it shot back up in the 90s today. I don't actually know what temperature it is today, but ugh, it's gross. It feels really muggy out. It's gross. And last year was crazy because in May, I think for us anyways, was, oh my God, we were just about flooded. And we had so much rain, abnormally lots and lots of rain. And we sort of expected it to be that way this year, but it's been dry again. Dry and hot. Go figure. Yeah, I know some people are kind of roasting, so. I'm just waiting for that first day that we had 100. Now, not looking forward to it, but I know it's going to happen, so yeah. I like doing stuff out of the camera over here. Sorry. Sheesh. Feel free to yell at me if I continue to do that. Lately, I've been putting a lot of dragonflies in what I do. They're fun to make. All right, so there's one little dragonfly. I'll have to give it some touch up too. Let's make him a friend. Isn't that what Bob Ross says? Let's give him a friend. I don't have any happy little trees, but I have a happy little flower and a happy little dragonfly. Oh, Nettie, that's nice. Oh, I wish. Yeah. I wish we would get some nice rain like that, some thunderstorms, especially in the evening. Isn't that the best? Sun's going down, the rain's coming in. Oh, gorgeous. Yep. All right, so let's see, let's go with small here. I'm gonna try this. I did this once before and it came out pretty cute, so. Yeah, I like that. Now everything should be dry enough. Oh, hi. Well, thank you so much. Yeah. I think I need some more color in here though. So now we've got to get to some top dots. Let's do maybe a 2. Yeah, okay. All right, it's just gonna be a little painstaking here. Normally I would probably do this with the silver, but I just think this will look a little less flat if I do it with the darker color here instead. And plus that silver really, really pops when I put it on top of these magenta or purple colors. It looks really pretty. So I'm gonna leave it for that. Okay, there's that. Now let's get some silver in here. What were those? 5, 4? I've already forgotten. Ooh. Yeah. Oh, got dog hair everywhere. Yeah, it's like 95 degrees and I have a really fluffy white dog. I shouldn't have to say anymore. My house is a mess. Chunks of white fur everywhere. Okay. I would not necessarily say it's a benefit, but with it being so hot, my paint certainly does dry faster. I would never really be able to go in and put top dots on at this stage. I usually end up having to wait and then just usually do it the next day, but everything is dry, so that helps. Well, surface dry anyways. I shouldn't be pretending that it's dry everywhere. Just have to be really careful because this is the part where if you have the thick paint, especially like the light colors like white, it is notorious for cracking. And this is one of those situations where that could absolutely happen right now because the heat, it's drying the surface so quickly. If it's too thick, then the wet paint is kind of going to get trapped underneath and it's going to crack. So especially if you're doing this in the summer, there you go. That's a really good reason why that happens. Okay, I need some white in here. And so what I might do, where's my 0.5? Oh my God, a Labradoodle. Oh. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Oh my gosh. They're so pretty though. All right, let me dunk this. Microdots. So if you haven't seen her, I'm probably going to put more of our new little pet on my Facebook. Maybe some shorts out here too, because she's awesome. We have a little bunny. And she is even shedding. She's molting. I tell you what, I didn't know they did that. But I can't blame her. Oh, ceiling fan. Yeah. How did I get that on there? Got a little tiny dot of green paint. Okay. I'm gonna have to do that dot over. But yeah, it's in the summertime, it's hard with the consistency of the paint and the way that it dries. The other thing that you might consider, be careful with this one, is adding a medium. Doesn't necessarily matter if your paint is the right consistency. Like, for example, I know pretty much everyone and their mama uses the Deco Art. And if you do use the Deco Art, I have found that if you add the Liquitex medium, either the matte or even the gloss, it does a really good job of retarding the paint a little bit, just so that it doesn't dry so quick, especially, like I said, with the white, like the lighter colors, the beige and stuff. So it kind of retards the paint, so it slows down that drying process. And it doesn't dramatically affect the consistency of the paint. It doesn't make it real watery. So you still have a beautiful texture to work with. And then plus, like I said, Liquitex has all kinds of textures with it. So you could do, like I said, you could do the satin. You could do matte. You can kind of change the look of the paint too. I don't really care too much about that because I end up sealing most of what I do anyways. So it doesn't really make that much of a difference. But that works really, really well. I mean, I already have like a, what would you call it, a crust on the top of my paints in my palette right now. So that's another good reason why I typically only do work for about an hour. Because once you get past that hour mark, the paint just starts to dry out. Okay. I don't use the little, what do you call them? The little cups with the lids on them. Having a brain fart moment. Okay. Last one. Okay. Now at this stage, I'm just taking a look and sort of making sure that I don't have any spaces that I want to fill. And I think I kind of want to put something here because I have this ever tiny gap. This is not the exciting part, but it's where it all comes together. Okay, flip that upside down here. Seriously. What an awkward thing to hold. And I probably still will wait until tomorrow to seal this. Whoa. Of course, the last dot I had to get all cowboy on. Hold on. Dang it, I definitely did. Jeez, seriously. It's like my hand is too eager. See what happens when you hurry. It would have taken longer. Oh yeah, definitely. That's the other thing too. I think especially in the beginning, I was terrified to mix paint. I don't know why. I just was. And I was of the mindset, well, I'm just going to buy one of every color. I'm just going to buy every shade. And then I just don't have to worry about that. And yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, the very last thing that I'm thinking here, I feel like this needs something. The other thing that I could do is put another swoosh here on top of this one in the light green. Don't know if I'm gonna like that. Let me know what you guys think. What is there? Okay. Yeah. You think go for the swooshes? Okay. I can totally do that. I can totally do that. All right, so let's see. These were a 5. So usually for anything top dot, I'll go down 2 sizes. Let's see. Let's go up. Let's go up 1 though. Okay. I'm gonna give my paint a swirl here. that had that crust on it. So let's get rid of that. Stir it just a little bit. Got a few little bubbles in there. Okay. But normally I would not recommend doing these, especially swooshes top dots. Probably until the next day. Just paint would be far too wet underneath. Risk scratching it off. And that logo is still giving me an issue right there. Okay, come on. That one looks a little funky to me because it's, but I know it's because it's just sitting on the logo. All right. And then let's take a 6 here. Normally I don't like to put anything over the center dot, but in this I'm gonna do it now because in this situation, see, I think it's kind of sank there or touched it too soon. And I've got that little mark, so we're just gonna hide that. If I can, kind of turn it around to see. There. Okay, it doesn't look circular to me. Okay. Perfect. I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you can't see the logo there. And I don't think, unless you're like really close to it anyways, you could. So, okay. All right. I'm gonna let that sit. I don't know if I like that a super lot, but there we go. All right. What do we say? Finished? Yeah, it kind of is funky looking. I think it's it's sitting right on this little edge, so I might go back in and touch that up once it's dry, but it's kind of plopped there. But there we go. There we go. Yeah, I think I like that. I've done a couple bookmarks and things with that same sort of pattern. I like that, and I thought that it would be nice on this glass case too, so glad that worked. And then I have one more to do. I'm not going to do that one today. I'm going to do that one a different day. I do have a couple of days off. Actually, I'm on a little mini vacation, so I'll try to do that maybe later this weekend or Monday or Tuesday. So, well, perfect. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, I will go ahead and put all the colors up on the description. I usually get that done here in a little bit. This will be posted automatically to YouTube if you ever need to go back to it. All of my stuff too is over on Ko-fi. That link's below. One of these days I'm going to have to go back in and do another couple classes. But if you guys have any questions or comments, shoot them below and I will check those out at a later time and come back and answer any questions that come up along the way. But otherwise, I'm done here. I'm gonna let this sit, and then, like I said, probably tomorrow, once it's completely dry, I'm gonna take another look at this dot and then I'll seal it and we're good to go. Perfect. All right, well, thank you so much, guys, for coming. I really do appreciate it. If I do any more, I'm just kind of thinking, might be tomorrow, might be either tomorrow or Tuesday. I've got plans on Monday, so maybe I'll see you guys then. But absolutely take care, enjoy your weekend, and hope it doesn't get too hot. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.